Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about the signs that my ex is hurting. So if you want to know if your ex is hurting, there is definitely going to be some signs, because if they miss you and they're upset about it and they're hurting, there are going to be some very obvious clues, okay? Very obvious clues. So if it comes down to, though, the people that are very good at hiding how they feel, okay, so there is a chance that you may not actually see some signs, because there are going to be obviously those people out there that are very, very good at hiding their feelings and suffering in silence, obviously. But still, I feel like there will be some clues, even with those people, because if they're really hurting and they really miss you, they are going to slip up sometimes. They are going to reveal how they feel. It is going to become apparent. Okay, it might just be that it might be just a little bit more trickier to spot. But usually with most people, right, if they're, one of these people are very honest with themselves and honest about how they feel, which most people I feel like are, it's going to be very obvious. And there are going to be some very clear-cut signs that your ex is hurting and they miss you and they want to get back with you and they regret the breakup. Okay, so one of these first things is that there may be clues on social media. Okay. Right, so if they're posting sad quotes, if they just seem to be miserable in their stories, things like that, if they're posting sad songs, it's very clear that your ex is hurting if they're doing things like that, okay? A lot of people feel the need, some people don't as well, but a lot of people feel the need to express themselves. And one of the best ways that people do that is so they can get sympathy, so they can catch maybe your attention. It could be anyone, right? What they do is they post on social media. They're looking for that attention, and hopefully they're going to try and get your attention if they post a sad song or they post a quote or they just look miserable in their stories and it just seems like everything's doom and gloom. Right, so these are the things that you're going to see, right, if your ex is hurting, especially if you still have access to their social media, or perhaps you've got a friend who still has access to their social media and they share these things with you, right? So there's going to be signs on social media. Now, not everyone posts on social media, so it may not be the case that you find out anything about your ex and if they're hurting on social media, because it could be the fact that they just don't post that much and it's not a part of their personality. But it does seem to be the way for a lot of people that if they're upset about something, they head to social media and have a good old complain about it. Okay, so another way that you can find out if your ex is hurting and is upset about everything and regrets to break up, misses you, perhaps wants to get back together with you, is you hear about it from mutual friends. So if you were together for a long time, there's no doubt that you guys collected a few mutual friends, right? Or it could be that your friends became their friends and their friends became your friends and things like that, and things got a bit muddled. It could be as well that you work together and you've got like common friends at work and things like that. So if your ex is hurting, right, and let's say some of these friends are a little bit more on your side, are more closer to you, they may reveal back to you and reiterate back to you basically if your ex is hurting, if they've mentioned you, if they're really sad about the breakup. They may come up to you and be like, oh yeah, so and so was talking about you. They seem really sad. They seem really upset, right? It could also be the case as well that your ex has actually said something to them, hoping that you're going to relay the information back, right? So they may say, oh, can you find out if so and so is in a new relationship? Then you say, if you get like mutual friends coming up to you and they're asking kind of like pokey questions, like, so are you with anyone else? Things like that, and they're getting kind of like interested. And it may be the case that if this is someone that was more friends with your ex than you, it may be the case that they've actually used this mutual friend as like a third party to try and get information out of you, to find out basically if you're moving on, how you're doing, if you still care about your ex, things like that. So that's something to look out for. Okay. So if you hear about anything from mutual friends, like, oh yeah, your ex is really sad, or oh yeah, they're taking the breakup really hard and things like that, then it's very clear that your ex is hurting quite a lot, because not only are they talking to mutual friends about it, but they're obviously making it obvious that they're very sad to those mutual friends. Okay. So another sign then that your ex is hurting is if they reach out to you. okay? So you have to be a bit careful with this though, because sometimes an ex may reach out to you because they want something from you and they've got an ulterior motive, essentially. So you have to be a bit careful. So if your ex reaches out to you and they're just talking, they just want to know about you, they just want to find out about you, they're just interested in talking to you, they want to keep the conversation going, perhaps they even suggest hanging out, things like that, and that's a really good sign. But if your ex reaches out to you and they're, like they may even start off with like, hey, how you been? How you doing? And you're like, yeah, I'm doing well. How are you? And eventually what it will get down to is what they really want, which is maybe for you to sign some divorce papers if you were getting a divorce. It could be that they're asking to pick up things from your house, like can I come and collect my stuff, things like that. Like if there's an ulterior motive there, then that's not a good sign. But it is more of it's a better sign when they are just, wanting to talk to you, just wanting a chat with you, and they're not asking anything from you. But if it's anything about finalizing the relationship and making things end more quickly, like by collecting stuff or by, trying to get you to sign papers, whatever it may be, then that's not a good sign. But if they reach out to you, it is a good sign, but obviously it depends on the context. Now, obviously a big one, though, if they reach out to you, it might be the case that your ex sends you like a huge love letter, right, and just talks to you about how much they regret the breakup and things like that. I've seen a lot of people do this when they start to beg and they plead. They write like a love letter or something like that because they're hurting and they really want to get back with their ex, right? So if you get a love letter or a letter from your ex, then they're talking about their feelings, about how sad they are, about how much they miss you, then obviously that's a huge sign that your ex is in fact hurting. So another sign, and this is the last one, which may be a little bit trickier to spot, is if your ex is overcompensating. Okay, so it may be that suddenly you see loads of stories that they're in, right? And they're just partying away, going crazy. Perhaps they change their hairstyle, or they change their hair color, and they change like their outfit and the things that they wore. Perhaps they're dressing a little bit more provocatively, things like that. And you start to see like this wave of stuff that they're doing. It could be that, their friends are also tagging them in a lot of stuff on social media, and because they're out a lot and they're just living a more crazier life. That is a sign of someone who's a bit going a little bit off the rails, who is obviously hurting, and what they're doing is they're trying to overcompensate. And they are masking how they're feeling by going out loads or by trying to show you how amazing their life is, right? So it's very important that you're very careful with that, okay? Because you don't want to do the same thing. So what I do often say in my videos, that if you're doing the no contact rule, then you should be trying to find a way to live your best life, right? Trying to achieve things that you want to achieve and things like that. So that's really, really important thing to do. But you don't want to overcompensate, right? That's a really important part of the no contact rule. You don't want to be like you don't want to overdo it, because it can make you look like you are overcompensating for the fact that your relationship broke down. So when I discuss these kinds of things with people, what I tend to say is that if you've got an accomplishment that you really love to post, then do post it. But, when you do post, just post something like that, like maybe like once every 2 months. Don't make it like a big thing that just happens all the time, right? Especially if you find yourself posting more frequently after the breakup. It's just not a good idea to do that sort of thing. But if you see your ex doing that and they're overcompensating and they're posting all the time, bragging about how amazing their life is, it's probably that they're overcompensating, okay? And they actually don't feel that way. They actually feel very, very sad, okay? So these were the signs that your ex is hurting. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.ChristineLoveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.